Take a listen at the Director of Information and Public Relations of the Armed Forces of Mali, that is popularly known as Fama, Colonel Major Souleymane Dembélé, give a more accurate explanation of the security situation in northern Mali, after the July 25 to July 27, 2024 intense combat in the Tinzawaten area that ultimately dealt a huge blow to the Wagner Group and the Malian military. Fama were in their sovereign mission of securing the people and stabilizing the country. And it was none other than a routine patrol that was being conducted from Kidal, passing through Infara, Bokessa, and up to Tinzawaten. It was then a battle of survival for the armed terrorist groups. You know the forces. Our forces left on the 19th in Kidal to converge first at Infara. At Infara, they took possession of this locality, then continued to Bokessa, and after Bokessa to Tinzawaten. And it is on the outskirts of Tinzawaten that they received the first terrorist attacks. And with this attack then the terrorists were routed, and with hindsight, they were able to form a coalition. They were able to make a marriage of convenience by calling on the other terrorist groups in the sub-region to come and support them. With the very mountainous area, we have not yet been able to assess the situation, but all we need to remember is that there have been losses of human life and material damage on both sides. The operation is underway. Fama will never deny their sovereign mission, which is to recover the entire national territory, and also to ensure the security of people and their property. And Fama are committed to this effect, and despite the vicissitudes, Fama will fight until the last breath. We will never back down. Our mission is to ensure security, the free movement of people and goods, and also to stabilize this country. And you know this country has come a long way, with 10 years of armed conflicts, with 10 years of the presence of international forces on our territory, who had not been able to find the solution to the crisis that is assailing us. So the Malian armed forces are today alone in facing this cohort of terrorism, and let us say to this cohort of international terrorists, who are on our territory and who do not want Fama to complete their mission. It is the information war, it is the communication war that our country is undergoing, that the Malian armed forces have been undergoing for years. And the population should understand that what these forces, what these media that are denigrating our forces, that are throwing a shade on our forces, that the Malian population knows that these are attempts to destabilize our country. These are attempts to denigrate our army, which has been in the process of gaining strength for almost 2 to 3 years. So if for 10 years, the international forces were unable to do in Mali, and that for 2 years, the Malian armed forces are carrying out this titanic work on the ground, it goes without saying that there are people who question everything that the Malian armed forces are doing today. The people should understand this. The Malians should realize that whether it is the Malian armed forces or Mali, when we are in a dynamic of destabilization by external forces, this population does not lose confidence in their army and supports its army. This army is there for the Malian population, and as long as we can, we will do it for this population, and it is our responsibility to safeguard these populations. It is our mission to secure this population, and we will do it until our last breath. Since the operations began, the populations have not stopped informing the Malian armed forces about the movements of the terrorist forces, about their hideouts, and also about their logistics. Their supply points, and it is in this that the Malian armed forces are committed to fighting against the obscurantist forces until their last entrenchment.